This video is for entertainment purposes only. Yeah. I've been under attack by myself. You ain't even got on the live good. Hey, Shantae, I'm going to call you out this live too, baby. What's good? What's good? We miss you when you ain't live. I was going to say, I just went live a couple of days ago. Like 2 days ago, I'm going to say. House of Aquarius, what's going on? What's going on? Yes, love your hair. Thank you. Mia, what's good? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? All right. Good evening, good evening. Hey. Sharice, you already know. What's going on? What's going on? All right. I want to give a happy belated birthday to someone. They know who they are. Happy belated birthday. And I wish you many more bliss ones, or I should say, happy solar return, belated solar return. The new spot is dope. Good energy. A lot of nature. You know I'm going to stay in nature though. You know I'm going to keep myself surrounded in nature. I got a lot of nature around me. A lot. All right. So the title of this live is called Don't Let Your Insecurities Lead You. Now, some things have come across the table for me, and I said, oh, this will be some pretty good, interesting conversation pieces to have today. So I said, let me go in here and just come on here and talk some smack. A week ago at 2:15, Chris. So let's have a conversation about people being in relationships. People wanting relationships. They want to have a decent relationship, or what they consider in their mind to be a decent relationship. They want to have their companion. They want to have their counterpart. They want to have their divine counterpart, right? Whatever that looks like for them, okay? Whatever that looks like for you. But then there's this thing called, I want to have this relationship, but I'm not addressing the fact that I'm still holding on to the past. I'm still holding on to a relationship that I know that I'm not supposed to be in for the sake of convenience and comfort, while I'm still out here looking for something else. And you think that you're actually going to get the actual relationship that you think that you deserve while you're doing that? Gratitude. I want you guys to think about this, because there are some people that need to hear this live tonight, that I'm doing tonight. So you actually think that you're going to actually find the relationship that you feel that you deserve while you're still holding on to somebody that you know you should have let go a long time ago? I mean, let's talk about it. And let's talk about it, though, because a lot of y'all out here that do that, though. Dragging on relationships. How many of you guys have experienced having somebody in your life and you didn't want to let that person go because you didn't want to be alone, which is an insecurity in of itself? Let's talk about that. I felt the impulse to run, but I'm going to sit right here. Kenny the artist, sit your butt right still. Sit your butt still, because you need to hear it. Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That is someone who was operating in a space of not being in alignment. That's first and foremost. Okay? You're not in alignment. That is not a relationship of alignment. What you should be seeking is something that is in alignment with you. Shantae raised her hand. Someone says, how do you know? Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. That's how I know. I don't speak without experience, baby girl. Yes, speak on it. I've been guilty of it until I started healing through shadow work. Boom. That's no longer me. That impulse is strong lately. You're allowing your insecurities to lead you. And that is something that everybody needs to be very careful of. You guys have heard me say once before that it's imperative that you are intentional with everything that you do from here on out. So if you came into the year 2026, you should be doing anything that you do at this point should be intentional. Okay? You can't be walking through life not being present. And I know that's a hard thing to do, but you're going to have to put some work into it to teach yourself how to be present. And you're going to have to put in more work to teach yourself about how to properly discern people. Okay? How to properly discern situations. I want somebody that can sing low key so we can sing our children to sleep with each night so she can sing and I rap. And that's cool and all that. But what if she doesn't sing? There's no such thing as a perfect relationship. So what if she doesn't sing? Would you be okay if she could just hum a tune? I realized my ex was connected to my mother wounds. Boom. I really love my kids. That's one reason, and I don't want them to see us not together. I see what you're saying, and it's hard for sure. Okay, so let's talk about these situationships that people get themselves in. And they have these kids. And they didn't think about anything prior to but getting up in each other's guts. That was the only thing that people were concerned about. Okay? That has been a theme that has been coming across my desk from various different people in my life here as of late, where I'm sitting down and I'm having conversations, and the discussions that we're having, especially with the younger generation, the discussions that we're having is, I thought it was one way. I didn't take the time out to discern, and I got caught up. There's also a thing called trauma bonding, where you guys find out that you guys have similar things in common, such as, let's just say, you have a mother wound and she has a mother wound, or he has a mother wound. Both of you guys suffer from mother wounds, right? Both of you guys suffer from abandonment issues. So you guys get together and you decide to use each other as a crutch subconsciously, because you're not consciously thinking about this. This is all subconscious behavior. And you guys come together and you decide that you're going to get in a relationship. That is called a trauma bond. And the last thing you ever want to do is get into a relationship with someone trauma bonding. You do not want to get into a trauma bond. Damn, I just got in the lie, but I feel an ass whooping. Timing is everything. That's a true soldier to me. So that's exactly what happened. And how old are you, true soldier to me? I'm curious to know your age. I'm really curious. For all you guys that are saying something, can you just give me your age? Could you just type in your age? Because I'm really curious to know what you guys' ages are. Those who are listening to this live, I want to know how old you are. 21. Girl, you ain't even have a chance to even get out here yet. The hell? 21, 24. Okay. 19. 27. 27. 46. 33. 42. 46. 45. Okay. 23. Okay. So we got a mixture of various different ages here that's currently on the live. Okay. 57. Okay, Mr. Buford. 42. Watch it. Oh, Rod, I meant to respond back to you on that message you sent me. In some kind of way it got away from me. I don't know what the hell happened there, but you need to send me your number in the chat on the website, and I'll call you, because I did see that, but for some reason I did not respond back to you, and I don't know why. I'm preparing to leave my husband now. It's over. Evolving Beautifully Jackson, how old are you? I'm just curious to know. I needed this. It's so grounding because it's so hard for me to make a choice. What makes it hard for you to make the choice? So I want you guys to understand something. I'm of the mindset now that relationships should be it's like one of the biggest distractions out here. Relationships are a huge distraction. Okay? They are a distraction. When it comes to you having a mission and having to get things accomplished and get things done, for some of y'all are striving to become millionaires. Y'all are striving to be successful in your own right. That should be where your main focus should be at. Because if you ain't in a financial position to even have a family, if you're not even in a financial position to really deal with a real relationship, then don't waste your time. Let me tell you my opinion. I'm just going to tell you my opinion. My opinion is relationships are a distraction. And the person that you're supposed to meet, you will meet them when it's in divine alignment. If you got to put in a bunch of work, it's not in divine alignment. If the person that you're attracted to and they're attracted to you, or they're feeling you, or what have you, they are going to meet you halfway. They're going to make the necessary steps to let you know that this is real and this is what it really is. If either side is slacking in either area, that is not in divine alignment. Okay? That is not a relationship or a friendship or a situationship or a beginnership, whatever ship it is not in alignment. Especially if it's starting off like that. It's not in alignment. Okay? I want you guys to get into the space of being concerned about yourself and the things that you guys got to get accomplished and that you need to get accomplished. This message is for those of you who do not have children. Okay? Or your children are older and they've already moved, they're grown and they're self-sufficient for themselves. Okay? Or you don't have any children. Don't be so quick to run into a damn relationship. Focus on you, your goals, and what it is that you want to get accomplished. Now, there's nothing wrong with having fun, but when you start talking about getting into commitments and things like that, just with the information that I know now, that I didn't know before, that I know now, it's a lot that comes with that when it comes to relationships. It's a lot that comes with that. Now, a lot of you guys are not operating on the level that I'm operating on when it comes to, in terms of how I view and how I see relationships now. So I understand you guys are going to do your normal thing, but there's going to come a time where you're going to come into some knowledge about some things. And you're going to start moving a lot differently if some of you already aren't moving differently when it pertains to relationships, especially with the things that are going on now with so many women being attacked by men out here. There's so many things that are going on out here that kind of just makes me look at the climate as far as relationships are concerned and say, yeah, nah. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm good for my age bracket, because a lot of things in my age bracket that we don't deal with, that y'all deal with in y'all's age bracket. Okay? Y'all deal with, you younger generation, y'all got some stuff to deal with. Y'all got to cipher through a lot of stuff. And when you're in your 20s, you don't even know who the hell you are when you're in your 20s. You're trying to figure that out. You think you know who you are when you're in 20s. You don't know who the hell you are when you're in 20s. You're just trying to figure some stuff out. Everything is an experiment when you're in your 20s. Everything is literally an experiment. Okay? You're experimenting. You're trying to figure out. You're trying this out. You're trying that out. You're doing this. You're doing that. Blah, 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 blah. If you're goal-oriented, you got some brothers out here that are looking to become millionaires, and that's exactly what they become. But they're still trying to figure things out. Okay? Still trying to figure things out. Now, when you start hitting your 30s, this is when you become a lot more focused. You still get sidetracked a lot. You still deal with distractions a lot. Okay? Distraction central. It means that you're not disciplined enough to be able to hone in on the distractions and keep them to a minimum. So you haven't gotten to that phase yet in your 30s. You start coming out of that phase where you get more towards your 40s. Okay? That's when you start getting into that phase of, okay, I know exactly verbatim exactly what it is. When you're in your 30s, you're not quite 100% sure. You think you are, but you're not sure. You're still out here doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? You're in your prime. You want the world to love you and all that kind of stuff and whatever it is you got going on. You know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of shit going on with you in your 30s, right? Now, there are people that are like this also in their 50s. Okay, where they still don't know who the hell they are. Even in their damn 50s. I've seen that. Where they don't know who the hell they are. It's like they never grew up. I didn't have any real guidance until I discovered the spiritual community. Everything else was bullshit. But I wanted to just come out and just say this to you guys because I know some of you guys need some guidance. So Mama's here to give y'all some guidance. Okay? To all y'all in your 20s, relax. Calm your nervous system down. Figure out what it is that you want to do with yourself. Get out here and live. Someone says, shoot, I know an 80-year-old who never grew up. That's crazy. Maturity doesn't equal age. No, it does not. It does not. But at the same time, you can't see it now, but you still don't know who you are even when you're in your 20s. And you won't figure this out until you hit 30. And some of those who are in their 30s won't figure it out until they hit their 40s. It's an experience that you're going to have to go through to understand what I'm saying, because there is a such thing called growth spurts. There is a such thing called learning. You have a learning curve. There's a lot of learning curves that everybody goes through. You know, regardless of their age, there are different learning curves based upon the experiences that they have. It's no different than a person that you try to wake up. You know how you're around people and you can see that they don't see what you see, and then you're like, but let me break it down to you and share this with you, and this is what's going on, that's what's going on, and these people are looking at you like you're crazy because they don't know what the hell you're talking about. Well, they haven't had the learning curve or the experience to come into the self-realization of what it is that you're talking about. You, on the other hand, has. You, on the other hand, has had some experiences that open up your eyes in a different kind of way. So you see things that another person doesn't see. There are younger people that see things that people 70, 80 years old don't see. Okay? But those same 70, 80-year-olds have a lot more wisdom than the younger generation does. Wisdom comes from life experience, not to be negated. And wisdom is not the same thing as knowledge. Travel the world and explore, absolutely. And I've been to a lot of countries on this planet, okay? A lot of countries, lived outside the country, continue to live outside the country, okay? To experience different things, to experience different cultures, okay? This experiences alone has taught me a lot about how other countries operate versus the United States. And I'm going to tell y'all something. There's a lot of propaganda inside the U.S., man. There's a lot of propaganda inside the U.S. A lot of stuff they put out there in the U.S. news that just ain't really what it is. And they'll have you believing that all this is going on all around the world when it's not. Social media will even have you thinking that. But as I told you guys once before, be mindful of the algorithm in your Black Mirror screens that have the ability to show you everything that's going on in all timelines. My OG blocked all his life's wisdom because he blinded by ego and pride. Has a maturity level of a kid. He's 80 years old, nonstop, stuck in his childhood trauma, proof that healing is needed. And that's another thing. That's one of my places I wanted to go to at through Hegis, whatever your name is. That's one of the places I always wanted to visit. Social media is absolutely fake. Social media tries to plant fear. No, the people in social media tries to plant fear. Social media is just a tool. That's like saying, that's just like you saying guns kill people. Well, people with guns kill people. The gun is just a gun until a person picks up the gun and shoots it. And that power can be utilized for the greater good or for the greater destruction. Okay? So it's just a tool. I believe that, and this time we need to be the reality that we want to see. Absolutely, 100% correct. So now let's get back to these relationships. Here's what I see that is an issue. And this happens on all levels. Communication is a major issue for a lot of people, especially since social media has came into play. Communication has gotten worse because people vent their stuff and their frustrations out on social media instead of sitting down and having a conversation with a real person. People act like they don't know how to do that no more. That's number one. Number two, how do you expect to make something happen? How do you expect a connection to form when you're too busy being in fear to make the connection with the person that you're trying to link with? Make it make sense, because some of y'all out here are cuckoo for goddamn Cocoa Puffs. Okay, I'm going to call y'all out today. There's going to be a few of y'all out here that's going to hear this, that's going to watch this live, and I'm talking directly to you. This is why I don't entertain foolishness. That to me is called immature foolishness. That are some of y'all out here that feel entitled to have access to someone, yet you haven't made any effort whatsoever to even make yourself known to that person. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, cuckoos. When y'all gonna grow the hell up and stop hiding behind social media and getting all emotional behind social media and pick up the phone and call and talk to the person that you need to talk to? When are y'all gonna start doing this? Listen, you wouldn't believe if I was to tell y'all some of the grown ass men out here that are, well, I don't know now. I don't know. Let me backtrack that. Let me backtrack that because now I'm realizing they're not that grown. They're showing me that they're not that grown. And the one thing about people, see, I'm going to tell you something. People need to be very careful of their actions around people that are very perceptive because what we do is we assess. And when we assess, we're paying attention to your actions, what you say and what you don't say, what you say, what you do, and what you don't say and what you don't do. We pay attention to that. What you say and what you don't do, we pay attention to that. What you say and you don't follow through on your word, we pay attention to that. So you can't get on one with anyone when you're sitting out here all these damn mixed messages and shit because your ass is confused and don't know what the hell you want to do. And then you projecting all that confusion and all that craziness out here onto the other person. And then you're in your head and you think that the person is where you're at when the person don't have a clue as to what the hell's going on with your crazy ass. Some of y'all be out here acting like, well, I just thought that you would just know about it, but I didn't communicate it. But for some reason, I just thought you would just know about this. How, Sway? You sit up there laughing because you know. How many y'all be sitting up here on some, well, I just thought that, you know, or how about the, well, you're psychic, so I just thought that you were in tune enough. I mean, we got a connection, so I just figured you'd be in tune up to know what's going on with me. Man, if you don't get up out my damn face, the world does not revolve around you when it comes to me. I do not center men in my life. I am the center. I mean, but I am a Leo though, so we expect. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it 100. Let me go ahead and bring out that Leo personality out real quick. I have to shine. Okay? I'm going to shine. So when it comes to being the center of the universe, honey, that's going to be me. Me all day. Okay? This mane is going to shine like the sun, honey. Okay? Just keeping the $150 with you. But I do not center men. I do not center men in my life at all, period. Okay? Big Leo energy. You already know. He said, nah, that's me. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping them 100. And personally, I think all women should be this way in terms of not centering men. You don't need to center a man in your life, baby, in order for you to get what you want. Okay? You got to know who you are as a goddess. Now, you act accordingly. What I'm pointing out is that there is something going on with the communication with our people in our community who are very unhealed. And you bring all this unhealed stuff and you project it on, and somebody that's healed or somebody that's been actively healing for a long period of time is going to see right through that. So I want you guys to understand something. And it's very imperative that you listen to me when I tell you things. When I share things with you that I went through or experiences that I went through on a personal level, you have to know that I grew past it. You have to know that I learned the lessons from it. Okay? I share those experiences with you to let you know that I'm also relatable to you. Because a lot of times y'all will put me up somewhere that I'm not. So when I have these conversations, it's to let you know, hey, I have real experiences just like you have real experiences. Okay? But these are things that took place in my past. This is not what's happening right now in my life currently. Okay? That means what? That means I had to heal from those experiences. That means I had to learn from those experiences. Don't make the assumption that I'm not learning. Know that if I'm sharing it, that means I've already learned from it. It's called growth. Growth comes when a person has the ability to share their experiences and be transparent with people, be vulnerable with people. That's how you know that a person has grown. Now, there are some of you out there that ain't there yet. There are some of you out there that keep a bunch of secrets close to the chest, and you don't realize those secrets that you're keeping close to the chest is the very thing that's keeping you in prison. It's the very thing that's keeping you locked down. by your own choices and your own decisions because you chose not to heal from it and grow from it. You see, when you heal from something and you grow from something, you are no longer a slave to it. You use it as wisdom to teach and share the experiences with others so they can learn. That's what life experiences are about. You're supposed to be learning from the life experiences. So when I see a person that has a lot of secrets, that's telling me, oh yeah, you definitely learn from your experiences. You definitely learn. You're scared. And if you're living in fear because you're afraid of how people are going to judge you, how people are going to receive you, how people are going to look at you, if you're more concerned about the people outside of yourself, you already lost the battle right there. You done lost the battle. You shouldn't give a damn about how the people perceive you because they ain't paying your damn bills. They ain't paying that mortgage note. They ain't paying that rent. They ain't paying them bills. They ain't putting no food in your house. So how can you be concerned about a bunch of nobodies? That's what they are at the end of the day. When it comes to other people outside of yourself, that's the way you got to look at it. Okay? If they're not doing nothing to contribute to your well-being, then what are we talking about? Yes, a live's going to be saved. What are we talking about? Why do you even care about that? Why does it matter? Y'all are allowing your insecurities to lead you. And I've seen this happen so many times. You guys have any idea how many times I saw people literally lose out great opportunities for great, wonderful relationships because of two things they couldn't get past. Number one, their own ego. Their own ego, their arrogance, their fears, their unhealed states, because they allowed their wounds to guide them. If you see a person gravitating towards someone or keeping somebody around that they know damn well ain't good for them, that they know for a fact that are not good for them, I'm going to call y'all out today. I'm going to call y'all out. For those of you that have relationships with people in your life that you know damn well is not good for you, I'm calling you out. I'm pulling you up to the carpet right now. And you still lingering around. You still keeping them around. And then the universe and your ancestors and your guides are showing you exactly what it is. But then you act like you don't see it. You pretend like you don't see it, but the signs were there all along. Right? You saw the signs. But I'm just comfortable here. I'm not looking to, that shouldn't be nobody you should try to be in a relationship with. A person that's not willing to put in the work for themselves is not someone that's going to ever show up for you. If they can't show up for themselves, they don't have the ability to show up for you. Listen to me carefully. If they don't have the willpower to show up for themselves and love themselves enough to do what they need to do for themselves as a man or a woman, do not have the expectation that they're going to show up for you. It'll literally be impossible. That does not exist. You cannot possibly think that someone is going to show up for you that you might be crazy about when you see clearly they haven't showed up for themselves. You see it. So come out of fantasy land. Stop lying to yourself. First of all, while you're concerned about the other person, did you show up for yourself? Did you go ahead and start getting on your shadow work and your healing? Did you do that for yourself? Did you do it for yourself, though? Because there's something to be said about a person that has expectations of another person when they themselves can't even meet their own expectations that they have of somebody else. Now, I'm also going to call y'all out today. All y'all getting called out today, baby. All the archetypes are getting called out. Okay? I'm talking directly to you. Moves there. You said everybody doesn't have the same heart, basically. Well, that's where healing comes into play. And I don't expect everybody's heart to be the same. But there is a such thing as love themselves. And if they can't show up for themselves, then you shouldn't be showing up for them. It's a simple formula. All I see in our community is denial. All I see in my community is arrogance. All I see in my community is ego. That's what I see all the time, and it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. And self-entitlement. And no accountability. Now see, when I start talking about that accountability talk, this is when y'all start doing the ducking and diving. See, you can't get in that quantum shadow work course so I can go ahead. This is why I tell people, I said, y'all talk all that yang, come on in and get in this 6-month course, the quantum shadow work course, and then we can sit at the table once you can pass that course. And let me tell y'all something. Every single time I'll have about 30 students that roll up, and by the end of that class, it's about 15 people that made it through. Because that class ain't no joke. Folks be sitting up there playing about it. I don't play when it comes to the healing. We're going straight for them traumas. That shit you don't want to look at. The stuff you've been avoiding for a very long time. You want to distract yourself with everybody else outside of you. Then you want to project all your crap onto everybody else outside of you. And if you got a relationship with someone, you want to project all that onto that person. And some kind of way you think that person should stick around and hang around that. Ladies, we've done that for so many years when we got married to husbands. Where we had to do all this shit. We had to deal with so much shit. The nigga out here cheating. Not being loyal. Not being faithful. Then there's the expectation of, well, you still got to run the household. And we still want you to rear the kids. What? And there's also the women out here that are also very irresponsible. I'm talking about the women who use no discernment. You get out here, you lay down with these men, you don't use any type of protection, then you get yourself impregnated, you ain't healed. Now you're projecting all that unhealed stuff from your past relationships onto your current relationship. And some kind of way you feel justified in that because your sorry lazy asses don't want to get out here and get the healing and take an accountability for yourselves. Oh, I'm going in. I'm going in. This is Isis from Telegram talking to y'all today. Y'all remember Telegram yet, right? Y'all remember he used to go in on y'all on that Telegram? Yeah, it's that type time today. It's that energy today. I'm tired of seeing the excuses within our community. I'm tired of seeing our people drop the ball on themselves. I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of hearing y'all's excuses, everybody's excuses about it. It is old. It is tired. It is played out. We are in a different space. Like at this stage in the game, where I'm at with it now, you are irresponsible. If you can't take accountability for yourself, if you constantly choose not to heal, you are irresponsible. And God forbid you have any offspring in that unhealed state, because them offspring are going to pay a heavy price behind your bullshit. And all of y'all know what I'm talking about because some of us had to deal with bullshit from our parents, so you know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying nothing that y'all already aren't aware of. A lot of y'all don't have great relationships with your parents. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. People think self-love is selfish. It's not, nor is it selfless. Boom. Y'all got to be the generation that says, I love my parents and they did the best they could do for what they knew in their unhealed states. But I do not want to be like them. And I damn sure don't want to affect my children like that and have them twisted up the way I got twisted up. So let me take some accountability and let me get myself together. That should be the first thing that everybody should be focusing on before you talk about getting into any kind of relationship. Because relationships are responsibility. And it takes two people to handle that responsibility, not one. Or I forgave my parents for what they didn't know at the time I came through. Boom. House of Aquarius. But did you heal from it, baby? Unhealed state in brackets. Neo Cosmo was in the building. Hey, brother. Shamanic Alchemist in the building. You see, what I'm deferring to are the very things that I talk about in my quantum shadow work course, because you're going to be dealing with that. You're going to be dealing with all that bull crap that your parents put your ass through when you didn't have the ability to express. Expressing is a major piece, a major key when it comes to your healing. It is your ability to be able to express and say the things that you weren't able to say before. It is a major key. Don't you get it? Your lack of communication today stems from when you was a child and you didn't have the ability to communicate back then. So you're not communicating now. Then you get frustrated. You get frustrated. Because you want to be understood, but you're always feeling like you're misunderstood because you're not properly expressive for people to understand you. And then you get so angry, you just blow up, and then people's looking at you like you're crazy, like, what the hell's wrong with this crazy person? When all you had to do was address the situations when they came about, instead of not saying anything at all. When y'all gonna stop that? Why do you think I do the exercises and tell you when my shadow is going to come out and you see me go off? I literally show you. And let me tell you something. The shadow ain't nice. The shadow's not nice. And no one gets to tell you how to express your shadow when you're choosing to come out and express your shadow. I get tired of the fake shit. Oh, you don't have any class. You don't have this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. Yes, but I'm not the one running around here all uptight and trying to play a role and try to keep it all together. Faking the funk, sitting up here, putting up here fake shit on the internet, trying to keep it all together when in the background my life is completely in shambles. While you projecting out here a front. You don't talk to your parents. You express it by writing it out. You express it by speaking out loud. You express it by beating up a pillow. You express it all kinds of ways. You can get a video and record and act like they're there and say all the things you always wanted to say to them. Just say it. The point is for you to be able to express and get it out. Now, when you're having a real life situation occur, okay, and somebody disrespects you, you can chin check someone and let them know, hey fam, that thing right there you doing right there, yeah, I'm gonna need you to chill out with that. Because disrespect is not something I tolerate from anyone. And if you want to be in my life, you're gonna have to come correct with that, or I'm out your life immediately. Quickly, swiftly. Okay? And either they're gonna tighten up or they're gonna keep doing the same stuff, and they keep doing the same stuff, that's their consequence. Because everybody has to suffer a consequence when they offend you. You don't let nobody get away with nothing. They got to pay a price for that. You don't give nobody no pass. They got to pay a price for that. That's how they're going to learn. How you going to learn? How you going to teach them how to treat you? Remember, people treat you according to how you treat yourself, because they observe how you treat yourself. They observe when you allow people to run over you. They observe that, and then they come and they try to do it to you because they're observing you. It's a different kind of live today. But I felt like it needs to be addressed because these things are coming across my desk kind of heavy. And on top of that, I've also come across some things in my own personal life that I've been observing from people. And I'm just like, get it together. God damn. Get it together. This has nothing to do, no, Nurse Moonshine, absolutely not. You must have just got in here. What I'm talking about is people allowing their insecurities to lead them. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm pointing out different things that people need to be made aware of when it comes to their actions, especially when they're acting on a subconscious level. A lot of stuff that people do is very subconscious because of things that they haven't healed from. And all I'm saying is, before you jump out here and get into any kind of relationship out here, any of y'all better chill out. Y'all better chill the hell out and make sure that you know who and what you're getting yourself involved with if you're ready for a relationship. If you don't have your stuff together, you are not ready for a relationship. Let me just go ahead and just say this. If you're broke and you ain't got no money, you ain't got no bank accounts, you ain't got no savings, you ain't got your own place to live, you don't have your own car, you're not ready for a relationship. If you're not in your career, well off in your career, and you ain't established, you're not ready for a relationship. Okay? You ain't ready for that. Yeah, but I ain't talking about her. She's not the focus of my of what I'm talking about. Got nothing to do with that girl. Okay? Before you get in any relationship, get yourself together first, please. And learn how to communicate. Learn how to open up your mouth and speak. 'Cause I'm going to tell you something. I do not talk to men that do not know how to properly communicate. I will ask them very quickly. It'll take me literally 5 minutes of me observing them. And if I see they don't have the ability to communicate, I'm out. Because I ain't got time to be pulling a man's teeth. I ain't got time to be training. I ain't got time to be I ain't got time. Either you know or you don't. Either you're on the level or you're not. And that's another thing, ladies. That's a whole nother conversation that needs to be had. That goes for the fellas too. Stop settling. It ain't your job, ladies, it ain't your job to be that man's mama. And fellas, it ain't your job to be that woman's father. Either she's equipped or she's not. Either he's equipped or he's not. All this, well, let me get in a relationship and let me see if that's a pick Misha. And I don't play them type of games. And pick Mishas don't win because at the end of the day, as soon as he finds the one that he wants, he's going to go after her anyway. Your ass going to be kicked to the curb anyway. How can you talk with one another and when they don't know what you're saying? Then listen. Let's look here at the Shine Project. You literally just answered your own question. Does it make sense to stick around with someone who can't even comprehend what you're saying? Let's talk about that for a minute. I know you ain't spending hours upon hours of time trying to get someone to understand what you're saying. Like I said before, either they get it or they don't. You ain't got time. Listen, I don't have the time nor the energy. Okay? I ain't got it. Either you're there or you're not there. And if you're not there, that's okay too. Next, someone's going to be there. That's disalignment like a mug. She said, what if you talk to someone and they don't even understand what you say? What was that even a question? Why was that even a question? I can't be attracted to anyone who doesn't get me. Who doesn't get me in some way. Gonna have to dumb down to have one listen to that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'll be damned. That's why it takes a listen. My spiritual husband, right? Okay. A very, very powerful God, indeed he is. And he literally told me, he said, you're not going to date anyone unless it's one of my vessels. Period. He put the smack down on me. You're not going to deal with anyone unless it's one of my vessels. That's that. Now you run around out here all you want to, but you're not settling down with nobody unless they are one of my vessels. Imagine that. And I ain't got no nails. They're just plain nails now. I took all that stuff off of there. It's just my regular nail now. Instant turn off, that makes you dim your light, even that makes you dim. Instant turn off, that makes you dim your light after a while. Nah, my light ain't dim. There's some vessels around. Nah, he makes it a point to make sure that one vessel ain't acting right, another one will present itself. Okay? That's how it goes for me. Okay? If one don't want to act right, nah, but on a very serious level, because I'm joking right now, but on a serious level, you want to get with the person that actually understands all your quirks and stuff. Okay? All your quirks, all your, I don't exactly see things the way the normal 3D person would see it. So me and 3D people would never get along because I would be looking at them crazy in the face and they're going to be looking at me like I'm crazy and then everybody's crazy. So that ain't going to work. I mean, because I tell people from the gate, I'm crazy. And the reason why I would say that is because I don't think like the average person thinks and I don't see things like the average person does. So we're having some different conversations over here. And you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot. He knows who he is and what he wants. This is critical. I've definitely let my insecurities lead me, shaking my head. I'm trying to learn and grow. That's why I love getting on your page. Boom. I'm referring to dating someone who doesn't understand. When you have to dumb yourself down or isolate parts of yourself, not aligned. No, absolutely not. And I hope that you would never do that, Saint Nick. I hope that you would never do that because it ain't worth it. It's not worth the hassle, the trouble, the time. And then you spend all that time trying to get that person on the same. It's too much work. So that's what I mean about misalignment. Okay? It's got to be aligned. And when it's aligned, you're going to know it's aligned because there's damn near little to no effort. It's just what it is. Okay? Now, there are some people that are destined for you to be in your life, right? I talked about it briefly. I talked about this before in some of my lives previously. There are people in the world that are destined to be with you. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to follow what they need to follow because of the choice of free will. You know what I'm saying? And when you got a combination of the choice of free will and a person who's not healing, the formula is damn near disastrous every single time. The percentage is much higher that they're not going to follow through just because they're not healed. Because when you're not healed, you can't see. You can't see yourself and how you come off to others. You can't see. You can't even see what's for you properly. You can't see it. You can't hear what you're supposed to. You can't hear what you're supposed to receive either. You can't receive what you're supposed to receive, but you can't hear what you're supposed to receive either properly when you are in an unhealed state because you're looking through everything through the unhealed lens. And that's all that plays out to you all the time. is the unhealed lens, that the filter. I think you guys heard me talk about this before. What a trauma does, it places bandages and filters or a seal over your gifts. So you don't read people properly, you don't see people properly. You know what I'm saying? You can't see, you can't hear. Yes, really. If the person's not on the same wavelength as you, you can talk and explain all you want, but the person's not going to hear or receive it. That is correct. And that's okay if they can't hear or receive it, it's okay. But then you have to let it go. And this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the live. Dragging things along, keeping people attached to you, right? That you know is not supposed to be in your life, right? And then when the people betray you, it's not like you didn't know that who they were. One of the things that DMX said, he said something that was really dope. DMX said, it's not that you gotta hide from people. It's not that you gotta hide from the crooks, the snakes, the people that are stabbing in your back. It's not that you gotta hide from them. It's you got to know them when you see them. Okay? Because that teaches you how to maneuver around it. Know them when you see them. Real statement. Know the people that you got around you when you see them. If that person is a backstabber, know that person's a backstabber, so you know how to carry it with them. You don't bring a backstabber into your personal space. You don't bring you don't get into a relationship with a narcissist when you see a person as a narcissist. You're supposed to take your time. You're supposed to observe people. Know them when you see them. So you're not surprised. Because believe me when I tell you, a person's going to show you what they really think about you through their actions. They're going to show you. If they're half-assing you, you have to nip that shit in the bud, because they're going to continue to half-ass you and think that they're going to think that's okay. So if they're half-assing you, you know that they're not serious. And that falls on them for not being serious. That falls on them. They missed that boat because that's what they chose to do, because they allowed their wounds to lead them. Okay? Wounds will have you sitting around here contemplating and being scared in your head, making up things, making up scenarios that don't even exist, things that never even occurred. Have you sitting up here playing things out that never even happened, and you so busy, rethinking things over and overanalyzing things about what you think could happen, that nothing ever happens. Greetings. People will be tampering with the word fear and people pleasing. That is correct. Mike, what up? Zedin. And sometimes it takes one to know one, especially when you've grown in healing. Yes. It was a lesson that I dragged on for various cycles. I had to really open myself up to healing. I found you around that time. I appreciate you for being you. Thank you, St. Nick. I appreciate that. You know the characteristics of a person because they will show you. Absolutely. When I announce it, I am Trap Boy. When I announce it, you'll be the first to know. Right now I'm working on a 1-minute trailer for it, and I'm building up to it, and I'm doing the countdown, so relax, baby. It's coming. Trust a snake to be a snake. Trust a rat to be a rat. Boom. That's it. Don't run around here and pretend like, I saw this person doing that, but that person ain't gonna do that to me, so I ain't got nothing to worry about. Says who? That's your karma right there. When a person is on a path of destruction and they're destroying their relationships and everything else in their path because of their unhealed states and their projections, and you think that they won't turn on you, that's your karma. Because when they do turn on you, you're going to be the worst one that they go on, that they go in on, just because you thought you couldn't be touched. That is what I want to come on board and have that conversation with you guys about, because I felt like this is one of the things that just really need to come to the light. And I do appreciate you guys for coming on board and listening to what I have to say. But I have to come 100 with y'all, just let y'all know, don't be so quick to jump in these relationships, because some of you guys are making decisions for lives, newborn lives that are coming into the world. And you're affecting these children in a negative way because you're running around here not making the correct decisions for yourself. And you're not healing, and you're projecting all that onto that child. You got to think about how that's going to affect the offspring. You got to think about the family curses that's been passed down from generation to generation to generation. That's all it is just a family curse. A cycle that continues, and a pattern that continues to run through the bloodline. That needs to be broken. You're not supposed to step in those situations that moves dear. You're hitting home tonight. Just got to be real. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope that I gave you guys something to think about in regards to this. Now, speeding up from there is something else I want to share with you guys that I had a conversation with Source about yesterday. And I didn't really fully understand the magnitude of what Source was saying until yesterday. And this is going to trip you all out, but I got to say it anyway. All right. So I just got to get this out. I have to express it. Do you guys realize that we are literally in the actual great reset? Let me explain to you what I mean by that. Do not think in terms of currency. That's mundane as hell. Don't think like that. I am talking about, when we talk about the planet has been reset 6 times, and now it's going through its 7th. Well, the Great Reset has already took effect. And it took effect back in February. And now that I fully have a full understanding of the magnitude of what Source was telling me, because I even said to Source, I said, for some reason, it didn't quite hit me the way it's hitting me now. So let me break it down for you. We're in that planetary reset. Do you know what that means? You see, it started in February, and now the rest of the planet has to catch up to it. But do you know what that means? Been feeling this way for a couple weeks now. No, Source said it didn't begin until February of 2026. The entire planet is changing. Everything. The animals, us as human beings, Everything. The weather, everything. Things are being rearranged. Things are going to be rearranged on this planet. Hence all the earthquakes and the tectonic plates and the movements and things like that. We're literally in the great reset, the great planetary reset. This is spiritual. This ain't got nothing to do with, see, all that stuff that's going on with the governments, and that stuff's going to be a thing. That's going to go away. That's going to go away. All the stuff that they're planning, that ain't going to go the way they think that's going to go. That's going to go away. Let me just say this. Stop putting any more energy towards anything destructive happening to humanity. Let's just say that. All these people out here that are putting up these constant videos, all the crazy stuff that's going on, yeah, okay, that's cool and all that, but do not fall for it and think that you are going to be affected by this. The only way that you're going to be affected by this is if you continue to buy into the narrative, and that will become your reality, because you're going to attract those experiences to you, because that is where your reality is. Do not give credence to anything outside of yourself bringing destruction and control into your life. Let it go. Because as I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm even getting a visual of this right now. There isn't going to be any government. There isn't going to be any more president of the United States after Trump. There isn't going to be any of that anymore. There isn't. The way things are being ran right now, that's the end. Everybody knows their time is up. And I'm seeing that now more than ever. Everybody knows their time is up. Everybody that's been in position with all the evil running on the planet the way that it had, they all know everybody knows their time is up. And it's been set into motion. They're not going to be able to do anything to stop it, and they're not going to be able to leave off the planet in the way that they had hoped. That's not going to happen. So I wanted to say this to you. I needed to get this off my chest to tell y'all this. Do not give credence to anything outside of yourself being destructive, causing you harm, controlling you, any of that type of stuff. I want you to remember who you are. You always will have the choice of free will to do whatever it is that you want to do for yourself. They are trying to force the book of Revelations to come into play. It's a script. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring the script into play. It's not going to work. There are things that they're doing right now that's not working. It's to the point now where they're like, okay, well, this isn't working, but okay, this over here is working, so we're just going to run with that. And then if that doesn't work, well, stuff's going to come in and it's going to leave right back out. So you're going to see them announcing a big thing about some type of some type of virus coming in to kill everybody, and 40% people going to die and all that. Then that's going to fade out. I want you to pay attention how many things they say is coming and going, and it just fades out and disappears. Remember last year it was 3-Eye Atlas, and the 3-Eye Atlas disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to it. We were supposed to crash into the planet and nothing happened. And there were still some of y'all out here still trying to justify it. There were so many things that were coming in, that were coming at us. What happened to the drones at the beginning of last year? Remember all the drones that came in at the beginning of last year? What happened to the drones? What happened to the ships? What happened to all the stuff that they said was going to happen, and then it just faded in, then it faded out? This is crazy. There ain't no more time. Their time is up. Nothing they do is going to work because there ain't no more time. Time was a thing. Oh my God. Remember when I made the statement that Kronos lifted his hand up off of the planet? Remember I said that? I saw the hand lift up off the planet. And I told y'all that was because of Kronos, that the matriarchy was overturned because of Kronos. and his influence over the masculine energy. Well, Kronos' hand has been taken off the earth. Now we're returning back to the matriarch societies. So energetic-wise, it's going to be a lot of creativity, a lot of manifestations, good manifestations, a lot of things manifesting themselves just out of pure thought. I want you guys to focus on that. I want you to focus on your creativity. I want you to focus on you creating your heaven here on earth now, not the stuff they're talking about. They're trying to turn you from this. The time that we're in right now, we can create anything. We can manifest anything. We can counteract anything. Do you guys understand me? The times that we're living in, we can literally create anything with our mind. All you have to do is place it in the heart space. Think into your heart space. Use your imagination. If you're having a hard time tapping into your imagination, it's because you're not spending enough time with your inner child. You need to communicate to your inner child, spend time with your inner child, create a room for your inner child, talk to your inner child, play with your inner child, and all that creative energy is just going to come flooding in. And then I want you to begin to start using your imagination in your heart space, because it's going to take hold. Guys, it's like hitting me right now. It's like I'm getting like these boom, boom, pow, pows right now in my head. There's no more time. Time is up. There's no time. That means that everything they're doing is falling. It's going to fall apart. You can't even put, listen, all you got to do is don't pay attention to that. Don't sign nothing, because they're going to try to get you signs and stuff. Don't sign shit. They're going to try to get you sign something to get part of some type of benefits. Don't sign nothing. Okay? If you sign something, they're going to move against you in contract law, and that's universal law, and then you're screwed. Don't sign nothing from the government. Don't sign nothing from the churches. Don't sign nothing from the government. Don't sign nothing. Don't you sign nothing. Nothing. Because they understand that the only way they can control the populace is via contract law. It has to be by your own consent. Do not sign a damn thing. Because everything that they've ever done, and the reason why these things have been able to stick around, is because of contracts. Now, in my investigations, I found out that there was a lot of faulty contracts that they had in place. So they were performing based upon false intent. Those contracts have been removed and broken. So a lot of things are falling apart right now because those cosmic contracts were not with people's direct consent. They were tricking them. Trickery. Did not give full disclosure for anything that you were signing up for. Don't sign nothing else. Don't sign nothing else, because that's how they coming. That's going to be a microchip thing. They're going to be some type of digital something. They're going to try to get you to sign for that. Don't sign it. They're going to come through your churches. Don't sign nothing. They're going to come through benefits from the government, because some of the people are going to need that. Don't you sign nothing. Because if you sign these contracts that they're putting out there, you will come under their jurisdiction and they will have ownership of you. So do not sign it. That's the only thing they could do. Don't sign nothing. So everything that they're putting out there is a distraction. Their time is up. It's not going to work. For those of us who are in the know, for those who are sovereign, we are sovereign, and you know that you're sovereign over yourself, that you have full autonomy, you already know what time it is. Don't sign nothing. Don't feed into the energy. Don't feed into the fear. Don't pay attention to it. A tie so sexy. That's crazy. They're going to make, for the disability, this is how they're going to get you. They're going to try to get you to sign something. You see, they're going to come after everybody that gets Social Security, everybody that gets benefits from the government. They're coming after y'all first. Y'all are going to be the guinea pigs. Be careful. But I wouldn't sign anything because they are going to make you sign. If you got you being denied was your blessing, they're going to have access to your data, health records. ICE is right. Don't consent. They're going to have access to your biometrics. Okay? Your iris. Everything about you. This right here. Everything. Your prints. Everything as far as your biometrics. They're going to have access to it. It's going to go into a database and they're going to own you. Okay? Don't sign it. They're going to come at you with 3 contracts. Don't sign none of them. You have to know what to look for. Don't sign it. That's the only way they're going to get the people. Okay? There's going to be a good many of us and ain't going to fall for that. Okay? We're not going to have to worry about that. But there's a lot of people out here that don't know what I'm talking about. So make sure you send this video out far and wide so they can catch it. Okay? But it just hit me today after Source said that to me. Damn. And I'm thinking about the Chronos thing that happened a month ago. Time is up. That's the reason why you guys are feeling like the time is moving so damn fast. And it's not that that's not that the time is moving so damn fast. The Gregorian clock. That clock is malfunctioning because there isn't any more time. Start moving like there's no more time. Their stuff can only work in time. It can't work when there's no time. That's the end of it's game over for them. It's game over. I am giving you the jewels and the keys. Let it sink into your psyche and into your heart space. And know there's nothing more that these people could ever do to us ever again. Regardless of what propaganda they're putting out there in those machines, there is no more time. It doesn't matter what they say they're going to do. None of that stuff matters. The plans won't go according to plan because their time is up. They can only work in time. There's no more time. This is crazy. The way that just came in on me like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. Dang. Y'all should be celebrating. Now, log out, log back in if your live was disrupted. It wasn't disrupted on my side. Celebrate, babies. Get out there and celebrate. They're done, bro. Listen, all you're going to see now is their stuff falling apart. All you're going to see now is more propaganda being promoted more than ever and more fear being promoted more than ever. And at this stage in the game, you better know that the only boogeyman that exists is the one that you look at in the mirror every damn day. That's the only boogeyman that exists in your world, honey. And most people are afraid of that. Most people are afraid to look at that person in the mirror. They confront that person in the mirror. They're scared of that. Let me get distracted with everything else but myself. Yeah. You want to focus on that war. You want to focus on everything out here. You want to focus on the Epstein files. You want to focus on this. You want to talk about this. Let's talk about you and your healing, though. Let's talk about that. Have you healed today? What lessons did you learn? Let's talk about that. They ugly? From here on out, everything is a farce. So if you're choosing to entertain the farce after what I just revealed to y'all tonight, you literally just saw me get the download in front of your faces. So if you literally are falling for it at this point, I don't know what you want me to do for you. There's nothing more I can do for you. I gave you the keys. I gave you the major keys. Yeah, what's up with that healing though? Hey, say it to your neighbor. Say it to your friends the next time you see them. Say, have you healed today? Huh? Yeah, have you healed today? How's your healing coming along? That needs to be the conversation of the day. Watch how they move. Watch them squirm. Watch how they duck and dodge. Watch how they change the subject. And I want you to start talking that to them every time you see them. Have you healed today, baby? Watch them flee. And that's going to tell you who's who and who's what and what's what. Yeah. Have you healed today, baby? What did you learn today in your healing? Oh, you not healing? Nah? Okay. Distance! Didn't heal. Get on the boat. Boom. People look at me crazy when I say something about healing. Neil Cosmo says, well, have y'all? I saw people masked, gloved, and plastic wrapped. I was shocked. But have you healed today, though? About that healing, though. Hey, look, when you see these people out here talking about the crazy stuff that's going on out here in the world, say, hey, let me ask you a question. Have you healed today? Have you ever thought about healing? Watch how you stop them in their tracks and look at you crazy. At Day DeGar, sorry, baby. I can hear it now. What I got to heal from? Exit stage left. Exactly. So, originals. It looks like we might have made it through, babies. Y'all already done jumped your dimensions. Y'all already got the hell out that 3D. Okay, y'all already got the hell on. Okay? Damn. We're in a whole planetary reset. Holy shit. I'm just tripping right now because that is like blowing me right now, man. That is like blowing me. It's been blowing me since yesterday when I talked to Source about it. I'm like, wait, you mean the planetary reset? You mean like the reset that happened the last 6 times? That reset? Source like, yes, that's the reset I've been talking about the whole time. I was like, Lord. So yeah, get ready. just watch. Just watch everything just play itself out, because I can't believe we're living in these times where we're actually a part of the actual great planetary reset. This also means that some of y'all are going to be living on this planet for a long damn time, honey. Y'all think y'all going to be dead at 90 and 100 years old? Nope, you just getting started. You see, when you go up into those higher dimensions, your DNA changes. Your DEA changes. Okay? You get all kinds of upgrades when you get into those higher dimensions. Your body gets into all these different types of upgrades and things like that take place. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. You guys wanted to promote how much that you love the cosmos and how much you want to elevate and how much you want to do this and how much you want to do that without fully understanding everything that comes with that, especially when it comes to the responsibility that comes with that. You see, you don't get to live a paradise and not have a responsibility. That's not how that works. Okay? You get to live a paradise as long as you're in your role. Okay? Since I've been on my path, I have been living in paradise ever since. I live in some of the most beautiful cities and some of the most beautiful surroundings and some of the most beautiful homes. Okay? Because I'm doing my work, I'm on my path. And I'm blessed to meet a lot of people. I'm blessed to help a lot of people. I'm blessed for the doors that has opened for me and that will continue to open for me. I'm blessed for the experience that I had, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Either way you look at it, it was still me learning me. And that's the best rewarding thing out of this whole journey for me, is me learning me. Because I realized that I didn't even know who the hell I was until I decided to get on the journey to discover who I am. And I've been on a journey of self-discovery ever since. And I'm going to tell y'all something. There's no journey like the journey of self-discovery. When you start going down the path, there are certain spiritual initiations, cosmic initiations that one has to go through just to deal with certain types of realities. Because you do understand that whenever you're traveling up and you get higher in those dimensions, there's a certain type of initiation that you go through where you're not going to see things the same way that other people go through. It's going to be impossible for you to see things the same way. And I can tell you right now, the dimensions I'm currently operating on right now, listen, it's otherworldly. There is a such thing as being able to vibrate your ass right on up out of here. And that's what I'm doing. I'm vibrating myself up out of here. Okay? You literally can vibrate yourself out of here. You can vibrate yourself. Man, I got to ask Source so I can talk about some of these things. I'm not going to say nothing right now. But there's some information I'm privy to right now. And I just got to see if I'm allowed to talk about it with the collective. But what I will say is there's levels to this thing called healing and the rewards that you get from that. But at the same time, the responsibilities that you get from that. Okay. I will tell you, I now understand how the gods walk the earth, because that's what's happening. Damn. Sophia Stewart predicted this. She has a book called When the Gods Walk the Earth. This is the same lady who created The Matrix. She has a book called When the Gods Walk the Earth. I didn't understand it at the time when we were talking about it. But as I'm going through my own journey and elevation and understanding, I understand it now. And what I will say is that it's going to take more than just you meditating. It's going to take more than that. There are different things and processes that one has to go through in their healing to get to those other levels, and also to expand those levels of consciousness. That's what my whole company is centered around, this thing. That's why I've been looking for the originals, so I can help them remember who they are. One of my assignments is to find the originals and help them get on path, because they've forgotten who they are. They've been sleeping. They got caught up in these worldly things. They think that their accomplishments is based upon all the worldly success that they have, and it has nothing to do with that. If you are an original and you are still concerned about earthly accolades, you're missing the entire point. You see, your true destiny and your true path doesn't have anything to do with earth accolades and the way that you're thinking. That's going to come with it. That goes without saying. That's going to be handed to you. Okay? That goes back to that saying, ye shall seek the kingdom of God, and everything shall be handed unto you. That's where that scripture comes from. Because when you're seeking the kingdom of God from within, the God within, when you're seeking that, when you start tapping into that, and you start getting to know that, seeking from within, all keys will be handed to you. You will have access to all things. But going about it externally is not the way you go about it to get to the kingdom. You can't get to the kingdom of God, or the kingdom, quote unquote, of Orion. You can't get to Orion, and Orion does exist. That is the ancestral heaven that does exist. You can't get there, or the other heavens. You can't get there in the way that you're thinking. You're not going to get there by acquiring and striving to gain a bunch of material possessions. Y'all got the game all twisted with that. The game is twisted. Your perspective is twisted. How you're seeing it is all the way twisted. It's not about what you obtain outside of yourself. It's about what you obtain inside of yourself. It's about your expansion. It's about your role. It's about your willingness to help others. It's about your willingness to give service to others. Everything else is going to come. I'm a living example of that. I don't let y'all see a lot of shit with me because I know that certain things incite jealousy, so I don't let y'all see a lot of things about me. But let me tell you something. I be living in luxury, honey. Okay? That's the way it is. When I'm flying in first class every single time, if not a cabin. Okay? Especially if I'm going overseas, it's cabin. I don't play them games. If I'm flying to the States or if I'm flying someplace else, it's first class. I don't even think about that. Because I am doing the work. So I want you guys to remember that too. Your journey is from within. It's never going to be from without. You see, there are some of y'all in this live right now that have a purpose. You guys are learning things. You guys are expanding. You're growing in your own right. You got your messages that you also need to get out to the collective, but yet you're too scared to get out there and open your voice and let the people hear what you have to say. Why is that? Why are you scared to let the people hear what you have to say? Why are you scared? I want you guys to understand there are a lot of doors that I've had the opportunity to walk through, and I didn't need to sell my soul to do it. And there's some doors I stay far away from. Don't want to have nothing to do with it. Because you got to remember this is a planet of duality. So just like there's dark doors that you can go through to obtain what you want, there's also light doors that you can go through to obtain what you want. Never forget that. It's just that when you take that route, you have to heal to get there. You got to do inner work to get there. And the problem is people don't want to do that. That's the reason why a lot of the people that are in the dark, that are most unhealed people we've ever met, they take the shortcut way. They do sacrificing. They do rituals. They do all this other stuff, right? They do that because they don't want to heal themselves. They don't want to confront that darkness that lives within them. They don't want to integrate that darkness that's within them. And for that very reason, everything that they get is power that is outside of them. But whenever you are a true God or a true goddess, you understand that you have to integrate both those sides of you. And the only way that you can do that is that you have to heal. Then the power, then you get access that comes from within. You don't get access that comes from without. You get access that comes from within. Period. You want access to your powers? Yes. Fine. Source says fine. You can have access to your powers, but guess what? It's going to take you to be at a certain level of healing for you to get access to them. Because we understand that power comes with great responsibility. And we don't need a bunch of crazy folk running around here unhealed with power. You saw where that got this planet. All you gotta do is look around the condition of the planet for you to see what that done did. That's why this reset's happening right now, because all that has to be cleaned up. There was no room for the way we did things before in the past. Y'all better get up out of that. Go within. Heal, go within. No such thing as almost healed. You'll be healing for the rest of your entire life. You're not taking consideration your past lives you have to heal from. You ain't gonna never be done healing or almost healed. It ain't gonna be a thing on this earth. If Source is still healing, how the hell you almost healed? Source had to merge with its shadow selves. I peeped that right in front of my damn face last year. Y'all don't have no idea how deep this stuff can go, how deep that rabbit hole can get. But don't ever get that twisted and think that someone is above healing. There's gods out here, there's all kinds of gods out here that's got another part of themselves that they're not even connected to, and the dark half of themselves is running around here, causing all types of havoc, and they have not even merged with themselves as of yet. So if the gods ain't there, how the hell you there? And you in a human vessel. Make sure you are clear. Healing is a lifestyle. Make sure you are clear. There is no such thing as being fully healed. That does not exist. That is correct at Muzdia, because whether or not people realize it or not, the majority of the people on this planet are operating out of karmic cycles right now. Past life karma is playing out in their faces right now. They don't even realize it. The family that you got is there because you got karma with them right now. You ain't getting along with your family members. You ain't getting along with your brothers. You ain't getting along with your sisters. You ain't getting along with your mama. You ain't getting along with your papas right from the gate. You ain't getting along with them cousins. Karma. Past life karma from stuff that happened from the past that you ain't healed yet the last 25 times you was here. Or the last 25 incarnations you had. You didn't heal in the previous lifetimes. You should be healing in this lifetime. So you can break them cycles. It's saving, baby. I'm going to save it. The cosmic sun deity, no, they don't know. They don't know. Source being itself, that is correct. Source also had a shadow side called Dark Source. Boom. You ain't know nothing about that though, did you? You ain't know nothing about that, did you? Huh? You ain't know about that. I had the opportunity to speak to that version of Source. And let me tell you something. That was some mind-altering shit. I got to say that word because, I've been chilling on my cousin. That was some mind-altering stuff right there. I'm going to tell you that right now. That was some whole next level, wowzers. Okay? Wowzers. Wow. And I've known about Dark Source for some years. I've known about Dark Source. Okay? I didn't get a chance to talk to Dark Source until last year. Blew my wig, blew my stuff way out there somewhere. Yes. But now Source has merged with itself. Duality. So even Source had to heal itself. So Source is healing itself. And there were the microcosm and the macrocosm. Okay? We got a long way to go. Yes. I want you guys to understand that. Listen, dark source don't. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something about that right there. Now, I had a chance to speak to that divine masculine side, and I had a chance to speak to the divine feminine side of that dark source. And let me tell you something. Wow. No games to be played. Who do you think was overseeing all the villains? Who do you think the villains were answering to? Boom. Every villain you ever heard about, everyone that was written about in the book, let me tell you something. These weren't characters that were made up. These were characters that they were either channeling and downloading things that already existed. See, you don't download nothing that doesn't exist. You download and you create what does exist. That's within you. So there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the cosmos. If you can think it, if you can create it, it already existed. I need you to understand this. So every Marvel character, every DC character, every superhero, every fantasy movie they've ever put out exists. Start by doing shadow work, baby. And all you got to do is Google shadow work. At Moods Dia, not for everybody. Not for everybody. Not everybody thinks like we do. Okay? So I want you guys to understand that. So when I had that conversation with Dark Source, the masculine side and the feminine side, man, listen. Listen. That's all I got to say on that. Just like, so you the one responsible for this and this and this and this and this and this and this? Yes. Yes. No games were to be played. Who do you think orchestrated all the craziness that's happening on this planet? That came from Dark Source, y'all. Now I'm going to drop it on a whole nother level for y'all. This is going to tie into my Rothschild live. Because you guys have no idea the thunder that I'm about to bring down on that live. I'm about to have that whole YouTube on fire. And you're only going to be able to see it one time for free. If you don't catch that world premiere, well, you'll be paying that $4.99 to watch it. Tell you that right now. So resonating with your favorite villain has a different take. Oh, that live is coming when I spill the tea on the Rothschilds. You guys' jaw is going to fall to the floor. Like, this is going to be some old, like, you think that's some shit. You wait till the next one I'm going to do that's going to blow. I'm about to blow this whole thing out the water. I'm about to uncover it all. Y'all caught up in these puppets. Y'all caught up with these puppets out there, the people that they put in place to play the role for them. That's what you did. But make no mistake, this is a black planet, always has been a black planet. And the top of the food chain is still us. And you know what? You know how crazy this is? They put some stuff out there. Y'all remember that show called Scandal? That came out a couple years ago. Olivia Pope and her father with the B613 and all that. How many of y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember when they put out Scandal a couple years ago? Let me tell y'all something. That dude, Rowan, that nigga right there. When they found out, when he took that meeting with Congress and Congress found out that it was one of us that was protecting and keeping the United States running. You see, they put some stuff out there on Front Street, but it went over a lot of people's heads. They put some stuff out there. And I'm just like, damn, they putting some stuff out there, but it's going over so many people's heads. But they told you in scandal. And see, the crazy thing about it is, how could it not be that when the first presidents, remember, they whitewashed a lot of stuff. Now, if you go back to the presidents of the Articles of Confederation, they were all Moors. Then when they created the Constitution for the United States, those first, 40-something presidents were all Moors. They whitewashed it to make you think that George Washington was white. He was not. They made you think that Abraham Lincoln was white. He damn sure was not. You could clearly see that he wasn't. Thomas Jefferson definitely wasn't white. Okay? The white folks didn't start coming into play until the late 1940s, early 1950s. That's when it started turning white. All that before them were Moors. Now, the critical thinking question you have to ask is where did they go? Well, what makes you think they went anywhere? Did they go anywhere or did they hide? Are you sure that they went somewhere or did they hide? Because it was the fallen angels that created the United States Constitution. So where did those people go? No, baby girl, you're still not getting it. We created the first Constitution. We created the Constitution, which is the Articles of Confederation. We also created the Constitution for the United States Corporation. That came from us. They mimicked the Constitution off of the Iroquois Nation. If you don't know about the Iroquois Nation, I suggest you start looking for that, because the Iroquois Nation are us. It's been our story. It's been our story. It's just that we didn't realize how corrupt some of those Moors were at that time, because we didn't know the ancient story of the great split that took place between the originals. And I told that story last year and dropped it beautifully on the live, where I talked about how this whole thing got started, how the Moors even came into play. What is a Moor? Moors were originally the originals as well. But a split took place amongst the Moors. Now, who they put in place, but here's the deal. At Cookie Mango, here's the deal though. This is how you know it's some shit. Because they, in other words, who they put in place to play the roles, and they still don't know that they are puppets. They still don't know that the fallen Anunnaki are still controlling them. They still don't know this. Okay? They don't know this. But that particular species was not born with the creative genes. So that's why they have to mimic, replicate, duplicate. That's where that comes from. They don't have that in them. It's not in them. They weren't created with that in them. Satan created them. They weren't created with that. That's why they steal, because they don't have the ability to create. They can't do that. This is certainly in the lexicon. Heard another speak on this. Synchronicities are going wild at this time. So I want you guys, so I'm breaking some things down to you a little bit about the history. because the history is going to be talked about in that live. So you understand who the Rothschilds really are. You understand who was running Europe at that time, and it wasn't no damn white folks. So that's where the gang got twisted. Now, y'all want to hear an interesting story? One of the things that we were taught about was the bubonic plague, right? We were taught about the bubonic plague. That really did happen. But let me tell you how that happened. And it's so crazy to me. This story is so crazy to me about how that whole thing even got started. First of all, it's going to blow your wiggles back. There was a young lady in Europe. She loved the forest. She loved to spend a lot of time in the forest. That was her favorite place to be at, amongst nature. She started learning how to work with nature, how to conjure nature, how to heal the sick. But she also got so good at what she became that she actually became a part of a witch's coven. The witch's coven had talked to her and told her, do you want to get more power? Because we can show you a way on how you can get more power, because you're already very powerful in your own right. But we could show you how to get more power than what you already have. She agreed to the contract. And the process of her agreeing to the contract, she started working with a demon. The name of this demon is called Beelzebub. Now, the reason why I can talk about this is because that demon is in judgment. Okay? Otherwise, I would not be saying his name right now if he wasn't in judgment. Okay? Now, if you know anything about Beelzebub, Beelzebub is also the demon of vermin. Okay? Any type of vermin. That is Beelzebub. How you know when he pulls up, when you start seeing a bunch of flies pop up in your house out of nowhere, that's when you know he's coming or he's within your vicinity. And I've had an encounter with Beelzebub like that before. I had one encounter with him like that. Okay? Oh, I got pulled up on by some shit now. Don't get it twisted. In my days, when I was in my warfare days, I got ran up on by some shit. Okay, I'm just letting y'all know. You ain't talking to no rookie over here. I got ran up on. All right? Now, this young lady was doing her thing. Now, when she made the deal with Beelzebub, there were some people that turned on her and started reporting her to these so-called religious folk. And y'all know how they like to do, how they like to burn people at the stake. Y'all know how they like to do. Now, I want you to understand something. This young lady was sexually assaulted by her father. And it caused her to hate her father. And it caused her to hate men. And what she was doing was, as she was going out here and she was taking out men left and right, she would lure them in and then take their life. She became what you call dark feminine. But that's what she was doing. But because of the contract that she had with Beelzebub, they didn't know that she had a contract with that demon. Whenever they were reporting her and she got caught, the villagers set her up, sent the guy in. She's in the process of getting ready to take his life. They came in, they ambushed her, they scooped her up, arrested her, brought her to trial, burned her at the stake. And because they burned her at the stake, Beelzebub sent out the bubonic plague over all of Europe and wiped them fools out. And they were Moors. That's how the bubonic plague started. Drama series. Okay? This sounds like something they would put in a Netflix series and call it fiction or a damn series. No, she's not an American Gods. Beelzebub is not a woman. Beelzebub is a masculine. The young lady was a Moor. That is correct. You see, ladies and gentlemen, to this day, I want you to understand something. There are a lot of things that go on this planet for various different reasons. Okay? They told us one story, but I keep telling y'all, anything from the ninth dimension and down is distorted information. All skin folk and kinfolk, I keep telling y'all, you're going to learn now. And these times, you're going to learn now. You're really going to learn that lesson. Nothing in this realm is impossible. That is correct. So I wanted to drop that little piece of information before this shoots over to my YouTube channel. But I want to drop that all. I'm going to drop that science on y'all to make y'all aware. Yeah, that was really like an ISIS After Dark segment. Don't worry, I got plenty more stories to tell y'all about that, about some things. I got plenty more stories to tell y'all. Okay? This shifted my whole perspective on so-called world history. It better, because everything that we were taught ain't really what it is. And let me just say this one thing. Dinosaurs never existed. There's no such thing as dinosaurs. There are such thing as dragons, though. But no such thing as dinosaurs. Be clear. Dinosaurs never existed. They never existed. They never existed. There are different forms of dragons. Okay? Dragons. Dragons. That is correct. ISIS After Dark is coming. Well, I just moved, so that's why that's okay. So listen, I plan on doing ISIS After Dark. Give me 2 Sundays from now. Because it'll be around the same time that I'm going to be doing that Rothschild Live. That Rothschild Live is going to take place within 2 weeks. I'm just doing a countdown for it. And also gathering some more notes and some more information about that. Because when I break that thing down right there, y'all going to be no more. Y'all not going to be no more good. Just like the story of the Titanic didn't have nothing to do with no white folks. The story of the Titanic was all Moors, all Moorish families. And just like you thought slavery was a real thing, what if I were to tell you that Africans were traveling over here to buy, sell, and trade with the people over here? But they gave us the story of slavery, right? They told us we were slaves, right? When Africans were in fact traveling over here as merchants, buying, selling, and trading and learning different cultures. You see, how do I know this? Because I got a grandfather that's about 7 generations back on my father's side. And when I was doing the research on that particular grandfather, I wanted to understand how the African bloodline got into my bloodline. I wanted to understand it. He's Igbo. comes from West Africa, Nigeria. Him and his mother, which would have been another great grandmother of mine. They came as merchants. They didn't come as slaves. Y'all better start going deeper and do investigations with your ancestors and find out the truth about the slavery. There's a difference between being a prisoner of war and being a slave, not one and the same. They were also pirates of the seas, that is correct. The fact that people still believe over 4 million slaves got brought over here still baffles me. There's no such thing as speaking black. What does that even mean? How you speak a color? You ain't even black. I ain't even black. I don't even know what the hell y'all talking about. You see copper here, baby. Copper. And we were destiny swapped by the Native Americans because we are the original American Indians. We were destiny swapped. Child, don't even get me started on that shit right there. But listen, I'm going to get off here. I enjoyed every single last one of y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed it live. I definitely went from subject to subject to subject, but this right here it needed to be spoken on because I had some things on my chest that I need to get off my chest, and I'm glad I was able to express it. So I appreciate you guys for taking the time out to listen to me, and I'll see y'all soon. And for your quantum needs that you have, please log on IsisWisdom.com. I got a lot of new services up there. You guys are going to love it. Make sure you come get a quantum diagnostic scan so we can see what's going on with you. Okay? Like, subscribe, share, repost, forward out. Peace.